Hi, Christy. Let me know when you can hear me. Sorry, it says that the audio is still connecting when the sound is connected. It's working on it. It's just not there yet. Oh, there we go. Perfect. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Alrighty. So, why don't you tell me where you're at with all your projects and things? Kind of what you've done since I saw you last.
So just kind of slowly chipping away at stuff. My
Yeah.
brother and I are putting our game plan together for doing our podcast. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm hoping
That's
it's fun.
great.
He
Oh,
decided
I'm sure it will be.
he's got his own for his business, and then he's gonna do this with me, and then he started one for his wife, and I was like, that's a lot, buddy.
Wow, my goodness, yes. Oh,
He said his wife, he's like, she just really likes to hear her own voice, so she'll be fine.
yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
He's like, now she has someone to talk to.
I know, right? The whole world.
The whole world. Whether anyone listens or not, she'll just have a good time.
Right, right. She said she's talking about scary movies, so she's in her element.
Nice. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So she's talking about something that's like a fun hobby and just having a
Hmm.
good time doing it. I love it.
Yes, yes.
Well, good for her.
Yeah.
I actually have a few friends that um they're like they've been friends since high school. It's these two guys, and then now they're just like your regular middle-aged dads. And then their one of their sister-in-law loves scary movies too. So they just like made a fun scary movie podcast where they just talk about their favorite scary movies or like new scary movies that just came out. And
Yeah.
it's great. I mean, they have a great time with it. So
I was
I
like, good for
myself
you
am not
guys.
as into scary movies, but I'm
No.
like, hey, if you guys love them, good for you. Like, I
Yeah.
support that.
Like, that's fine.
I'm
Not
like,
me.
I'll
Not me.
subscribe to it to support you, but like, I'm not gonna actually listen.
I'm not gonna I'll scrub through really quickly. So it'll look like I
Exactly. So you get like credit for me being a subscriber and everything, but like,
yes.
scary movies are not for me. I mean, listening to them talk about them is better than actually watching them, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. I'm a lot better at it if I can know what's happening. So if
Yeah.
I know ahead of time that it's not going to be
Yeah.
like, this is what's going to happen. I'm like,
I'm
okay,
the
cool.
same
I know that everybody's
way.
going to die.
People
I'm
think
good.
it's like crazy. They're like, I'm gonna ruin it. No spoilers. And I'm like, I need spoilers. I need to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
not
even
for
like,
like nice movies. Nice movies, I'm fine. But
yeah.
just
Like I
anything.
had never seen any of Game of Thrones, so my husband was like, "Oh, let's watch it together." And I legit was like after like the first two episodes was like, "This is horrible," and I'm
Yeah.
so upset. And I was like, "I need to know what's going to happen and that people are going to be okay." So I was like, "I need you to tell me what happens." And he was like, "I'm
Yes.
going to spoil it." And I was like, "No, I'm not watching anymore if I don't know that these people live."
Right. That's a big one too. There's a lot of people that die in that show.
I know. Yeah. So there were like a few, I don't know, like from the beginning, I was like, if this little boy who just got thrown out of a window is gonna die, I don't want to watch
Right.
it anymore.
They took it. I mean, killing off a main character really early on, that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
Lord.
Yeah, so I like asked my husband to give me spoilers, and I also like Googled things and was like,
Okay.
what happens to these characters? Because he didn't tell me everything. And now I feel better, and I'm like, okay, I can watch it more
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
because I know that I'm not gonna be like horrified when I get there, you know? So
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, that's
I mean, some
funny.
of it's just like very unbelievable, but it's fine.
Well, yeah. I mean, zombie people that are frozen.
Yeah, right. Well, it's almost like they have the stone people too. So I was like, the stone people are kind of like zombies, and then, or like people with leprosy and who are zombies. And then the wild, I don't know, like the snow. demons or almost like
Right.
vampires. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm like, okay.
I
Yeah.
I read all of those books when it first came out. I was like, this show's so good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
read the books.
Yeah,
And
my
I
brothers
got
read the books. Yeah.
to the last one, and then I realized that it wasn't finished, that he never
Right.
finished the books, and I was so mad.
Oh!
I stopped watching the show. I was so mad.
You were like, finish it, dang
I know,
it.
and he never did, and I was like, whatever, I'll finish
Right.
the stupid show, but I'm not reading these books ever
You
again.
can just in your mind decide how you want
Yeah,
it to end. Yeah.
yes. It was probably
Yeah.
would have been
Everyone's like, the
better the
ending
way
is really
it ends.
disappointing to some
Yeah.
people. But I just
Yeah.
asked, I was like, how does it end? And now I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, now I can watch it because I like don't have to be so upset about things.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm like, please give me spoilers. I don't know how, but somehow my husband and his family got me to go to Nosferatu twice
Oh
recently.
my.
And
Twice?
I just was like sitting there
Oh
like
gosh.
literally like plugging my ears and covering my eyes. The second time through, at least I knew when bad things were coming. So I was just like,
Yeah.
okay,
So everybody
hide.
else knows that this is Vandy knows something.
Yeah.
Something.
The first time through, sometimes I was like, oh gosh, I'm never
Oh,
gonna forget this image. At least it was like very artistic and beautiful, like the
yeah.
cinematography and stuff, and like the vintage elements. So, like, there were some really cool elements of it. Plus, like, one of the actors, I was like really excited to watch, and I don't know, but I was just like, "Ugh, not
Yeah.
for me."
No.
I would be very happy to never watch it again.
Never again, huh?
Be great. I would be okay with never having seen it.
Yeah.
But I guess if I was gonna watch a like gory horror, it's not the worst one to watch
Okay.
because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the cinematography, the costuming. The
Really.
costuming is so well done. The second
Wow.
time through, I just was like really looking at the costuming and I was like, it's so beautifully, like intricately handmade, like historically accurate, the right materials, like
Oh wow.
yeah, so
I
like
like that.
artistically and the tech and stuff,
Yeah.
like the tech team, the like gels that they used. I also noticed like my husband didn't even notice it. I was like, "No, it's black and white." And he was like, "No, it's not in skin color." And I was like, "No, but like certain parts of it are black and white and certain parts of it are color." And he was like, "I didn't even notice that." And I was like, "But they did it on purpose." So it's like when it's the demon guy, it's black and
Right.
white. And then
Okay.
when it's like normal life, it's color. So he sucks all the
Oh.
color out of the world. But yeah,
Oh.
so there were some like very artistic things about it. But then there
Yeah.
were also things I was like, oh, I wish I never had to see that and I never want to see it again. Ever. So yeah. But scary movies, not my cup of tea.
Oh, yeah, no.
My brother and husband love them. So I'm like, good, you guys get together and watch them.
Yeah.
And my
I'll be
future
over.
sister-in-law, Maddie, she's like, I hate them too. And Steven makes me watch them all the time. And
Yeah.
I'm like, just like go in the kitchen and wash dishes while he's watching or something. Like,
I'll just
yeah.
listen. I'll
I'm like,
listen.
just like go visit with your friends and have a movie night
Yeah.
without me.
Yeah. Have a good
Unfortunately, all
time.
my husband's friends love me. So they're like, come with us. And I'm like, you could just go have bro time and watch scary movies. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
No. Yeah.
They even play like a really haunted horror video game. And I'm just like,
Oh.
no, even though it's a
No.
video game, it's not for me. They like get together and play. And I'm like, when you play like Smash Brothers, I'll come hang.
Yeah, right. I got no, I had where were we? Oh, we had gone to go watch a scary movie, but like I had already seen the original and it was a B
Mm.
movie. Like it was so low budget, but it was like a cult classic. So when they remade it, we
Uh,
went to go see it and they had
yeah.
an advertisement for I can't even remember the name of the movie, but it's based on a true story. And these people move into a haunted house, and the mom plays a game with these kids where it's like hide and seek, but you clap. and
Oh,
like the person hiding will clap to kind of give a hint to the person looking. And
yeah.
so the whole thing is like they're moving in, they're playing this game, and then the mom puts everybody to bed and she hears this clapping and she is like, I told you to go to bed. And it ends up
Yeah.
being like the evil spirit that's haunting the house. Uh,
Ooh.
and it's terrified me because first of all, it's true, it's a true story. And so
Oh.
my husband likes scary movies like that, but he also likes to prank people. So when we came home, I was walking up the stairs and it's all dark inside and I hear this and I was like, nope. I ran up the stairs as fast as
You were like, bye.
I
Peace.
don't care. I know that it's you. I know it's you. I know it's not like an
But you were like,
evil
this is not for
woman.
me.
No, I'm good. Don't do that.
No, I'm with you. That's terrifying. Yeah, especially when things are true stories, it freaks me out
Yes.
even more. And I'm
Yes.
just like sometimes we listen to Mr. Ballen's Strange, Dark, and Mysterious podcast, like on road trips. And I sometimes I'm like, we can't finish the episode. You've got to stop it. My husband listens to them all by himself
Yeah.
anyway. So he's like, that's fine. But he's like, you don't want to know? And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to know. Like,
I'm
especially if
good.
it's like a religious thing or like
Yes.
family incest and weird stuff. I'm like, nope,
No,
nope, bye.
good.
No, not for me. Yeah, some of them I'm like, if it's like they just get stranded in Alaska in the wilderness and, freeze to death, okay, they
Yeah.
were dumb. But when it's like creepy, like my little brother's favorite movie is Hereditary, and there's like some weird religious context and like a cult and like a grandma or someone made a deal with the devil. And it's
You,
like, I Googled it and I was like,
yeah.
and he loves it. He's like, he will go on and on about how great it is. And I'm just like, I can never watch this movie. It's like a creepy religious satanic culty thing and deals with
Um,
the devil and like sacrificing children and like haunting. And I'm just like, no.
I get creeped out enough at the second Indiana Jones movie when they're like
Yeah,
playing the drums. I was like,
right?
that's
You're
not
like
even creepy. It's just I'm
shivers.
creeped
No,
out by
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah. Like I'll just be over here
I
waiting for
agree. I still get scared watching like Snow White when the trees are grabbing her in the
oh
forest,
yeah.
or like Beauty and the Beast with the wolves chasing her. I still get scared and I know what's going to happen. And I'm
Yep.
like, this is a cartoon I've watched. Like, I mean, Beauty and the Beast, I've watched hundreds of times in my life. It
Yeah.
was my favorite movie as a little kid. So I'm like, I've seen it. I know what's going to happen and I still get scared.
So funny.
So, yeah.
Or the original Hobbit cartoon movie.
Yeah. I do. I get scared in that. I love that movie. I still watch that movie. I love it. It's
Yeah,
great, but there are scary moments. The spiders and stuff.
I know. I'm like, ugh.
Scary. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I've read the book multiple times. I've watched that movie multiple times. I've watched the live action ones and I still get scared in the cartoon. So I'm with you. I am with you. Yee.
yes.
All righty.
Okay.
So your podcast is still in the works. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. You
Yep.
know, you'll get to it.
Yep.
And it sounds like, they've already gotten a lot done with the other two. So sounds
Yeah.
like you'll probably start that one pretty soon, which is great.
Yeah.
So if you were going to say, like how's your Australia
Mm-hmm.
characters going? How are you doing with everything else right now?
Okay. I am just starting back up on that book because I finally heard back from the author. Turns
Yeah.
out she's getting married. And
Oh, so she
so
just had
that
a
took
lot of
over
other
her
things
life.
going on. Yeah.
Like,
I
okay, cool,
understand.
but
But just
um,
like leaving you hanging. Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
kind of let the Australian stuff go for a little bit,
Yeah.
which now I'm trying to get back into the swing of that. I found a funny little TV show that
Okay.
on Netflix that I've been watching, which I guess is I'm trying to figure out because I thought the word was Bogdan, or yeah, because it's called like upper middle Bogdan. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, that's weird, but I guess it's pronounced Bogdan. Uh, I
Oh,
heard it
so
used in context on a podcast, and I was like, oh, I'm thinking that that means kind of like a rednecky kind of.
mm,
Uh, the whole show is about this woman who finds out by accident that she's adopted, and then her adoptive family are like
ah.
Formula One racers. So
Oh,
she's,
okay.
she's like very posh. She was raised by a very posh mom. And so she's trying to reconcile these two families and kind of fit in both sides.
Mm.
It's cute, it's silly. There's a lot of lingo, so that's fun.
Yeah, no, that's good though, because you watched it and you learned something. I love that. I do
Yeah.
that too sometimes. Like I'll be listening to an audiobook and I'll be like, oh, is that how Irish people pronounce that
Oh
word?
my
I would
gosh,
not
they're
have
the worst.
guessed. Like, yeah. I'm like,
Gaelic
that is not what
names
I
and
thought it would
words are,
be.
yeah, no, no.
So, yeah, sometimes you'll stumble on those things that you're like, never, ever would have guessed that this is how you pronounce that.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
So, yeah. So, and like the stresses on words sometimes, um,
Mm,
like with British accents and things, I'll be listening, I'll be like, oh, that's where you accent in that word. Okay. Mental note, you know?
right, right,
So it's, I mean, listening, I think, is one of the best things you can do for working on the accents because you can have the general rules and then be like, but wait, like that general rule doesn't work here in this particular
right.
instance. Um, yeah, so that's where I feel like you just have to listen and kind of figure out what are those kind of exceptions to the rule. So that's great that you're listening
Yeah,
and kind of getting back in the swing of things. I can completely understand her situation because when I got married, I kind of, fell off the face of the earth too and bailed on things. Then I was like, oops, sorry guys, I'm back.
yeah.
So, yeah. And, fortunately,
Totally
most
fine.
people were nice about it, but I was
Yes,
like, so sorry guys.
yeah,
So,
no, I don't mind. I just,
you're like,
glad
I
to
would have
be
liked
still
to
alive.
know.
Like,
It would have
yeah,
been great if you had just told me.
I'm just glad you're alive and that,
Yeah, right. Because you could have just like had a car accident and been gone
right.
forever. I
Gosh.
don't know because you didn't tell me.
Right, right.
So, well, I'm glad she's doing good. I'm glad she's married and not dead and that you're
Yes,
getting back in the swing of it. Great.
yes.
So what would you say right now is your main focus? The thing that you're like, I'd really love to master this, or I really want to start auditioning for projects like this. Um, do you have any like character types you want to really work on developing, or um, you found XYZ, or you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I really want to audition for more commercials. Um,
yeah.
so what are you thinking?
I would absolutely love to audition for more commercials. I'd like
Okay.
to I found also one little like cartoony thing that looked like fun just because it's something different.
Okay.
Um, it's a little the character is called Boba Tea Yoga, which I
Oh.
think is supposed to be a little like Baba Yaga. That kind
That
of
makes sense.
creepy sorceress. She's the cartoon, like she looks
Yeah.
really cute and fun to be around, but
Hmm.
they have like their character inspirations were like Ursula the Witch and Lisa
Ah,
from The Emperor's New Groove, and
yes.
what is the other one? The lady Madam Mim, the Madam Mim from
Oh,
Sword in the Stone.
yeah. Oh, those are really
So
fun.
I was like, those are a lot of fun little things.
Yeah.
And I think it has like a lot, the potential of it has a lot of range.
Right. For sure. I agree.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of fun. I can email you or message you the little
Oh,
thingamabobby.
nice. Yeah, let's work on it. That sounds great.
There's that.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, it just came through. Perfect. So I can pull that up. Oh, great. I got it. Nice. Oh, fun. Yeah, I love that they give you the visuals too. Oh,
Yes,
cute. Yeah. Nice. Very cute. Dastardly, crafty, manipulative.
I know. I was
Not
like,
to
that's
be
so
trifled with.
fun.
Older, dangerous, powerful. She lost her magic. Dang it, she must be bitter. Trying
Yes.
to get it back. I want to know how she lost her magic.
I know. Gosh.
Okay. So she thinks she is Foxy.
Oh yeah. She looks.
And in the bog, she's something else. Nice.
Oh yeah.
All right. Love it. Okay, this is cute. Fun. All right. So line and bold directions below.
hmm
Cool. So a couple of them, they don't give you directions, but that's okay. And it looks like they don't really give you like what's happening around her, but they give you when they want sounds. So like the smoochy sound, like a,
Yes.
or like a, "Mwah," like whatever you want to
Yes.
do, like play with some sounds there. Um, yeah, so like figuring out what you want to do with like convincing him to come to you and like popping him in your mouth and
I
swallowing.
know. Like, well, that is dastardly.
Goomp, like what you're
Yes.
gonna do there. And it looks like you kind of improv on that. There's still one missing, shrill ranting and escalating in sound. You're just gonna kind of ad lib that.
Yes.
Nice, fun. All right, cool. All right, so we've got our character inspirations here, which are all really fun characters. Um, so I think it might be fun to play a little bit with maybe like that first line, read it as though
Mhm.
you are each of these characters individually first, and just kind of see what discoveries you can make playing with those
Okay.
particular characters.
Okay. Let's see. Let's- So I hate to tamper with perfection, but this role calls for a more unimaginative standard of beauty. Yes, indeed. Bog standard.
Yeah,
Uh,
nice. That's fun. Awesome. So let's try one of the others.
okay, so let's see. I hate to tamper with perfection, but this role calls for a more unimaginative standard of beauty. Yes, indeed. Bog standard.
Nice. Yes, very good. Awesome. And then let's try the other character too.
Okay. Um, I hate to tamper with perfection, but this role calls for unimaginative standard of beauty. Yes, indeed. Bog standard.
Nice. Yes. How'd that feel?
I like that. I like
Awesome.
those. Yeah.
Good. All right. So let's maybe like one takeaway from each of those characters.
All right. I hate to tamper with perfection, but this role calls for unimaginative standard beauty. Yes, indeed. Bog standard.
Nice. Very good. How'd that feel?
I like that. That was fun.
That was fun. Good. All right. So, um, for this particular moment, where do you think she is? What do you think she's doing at this moment?
um, Probably going in disguise to do some sort of undercover treachery.
Yeah. Who do you think she's talking to at this moment?
Either herself in the mirror or maybe one of those little mushroom minion thingies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
maybe she has like a little minion there and she's talking to them. And what do you think she wants from them? How do you think she hopes they respond to what she says?
to agree that she's less beautiful or that she's doing the right thing, or
Hmm.
she just constantly wants to be validated.
Ah, yes. All right, so she's seeking validation. She wants them to agree with her and be like, "Yes, you are the most beautiful woman in the world." Yeah,
Yes.
so that's what she's fishing for a compliment here.
Yes.
All
Yes.
righty, nice. And then hmm, so what do you think happened just before this happened?
Um, she must have figured out a plan. Like, this is going to
Okay.
be a plan.
Yeah,
So she's in the highs of knowing that she's going to make this change and get whatever it is she wants.
nice. Awesome. Okay. So she's like delighted in this moment. She's like,
Yes.
I've got a plan. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Great. So then, um, hmm, where do you think she's going right after this?
Into the bog to go do whatever she's hatched up.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So she's about to leave for the bog. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, um, mm, how how do you think she's gonna get her little minion to agree with her? Like, how does she convince them to do what she wants? Is she threatening them? Is she like cajoling them? Is she pleading with them? Like, how does she get what she wants from her little minions?
I'm gonna say that since she's excited about what she's doing, it makes them like secondhand excited about,
Yeah.
hey, let me give you my speech and then everything will be perfect and we'll all be
Hmm.
excited and leave together.
Yeah, and I would assume that they're kind of scared of her. So if she's happy and excited, they're like, oh, yay, stay happy and
Yeah, yeah,
excited. Yes. Right? So I would assume that they're pretty much like, yes, be happy. Keep that
yeah.
up. Um, good. So then, great. Let's go ahead then and let's try it again. And you are just elated, so delighted with yourself. It's about to happen for you. You're so pumped. Can't wait. So you are just like in that celebratory, excited, devious mastermind mode.
Yes. Okay. Um, let's see. So I hate to tamper with perfection, but this role calls for more unimaginative standards of beauty. Yes, indeed. Bog standard.
Nice. Good. Awesome. So when you say bog standard, how do you feel about that?
Like the bog people are very unattractive. They're very blah.
Mm. Yeah. So there you're kind of insulting them.
Yes.
Are your
Like,
minions bog people?
um, I'm gonna say no.
Got it. Cool. So no, they are not
No.
not bog people. So they're
No.
not insulted by it. You just want them to be like, you're the cool girls, and you want
Yeah,
them to be like, yeah, ew, bog
those bog
people.
people are gross.
Yeah, they are gross. Ugh.
They're all brown and green.
Yeah, bog
Hmm.
people. Blech. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we want to kind of diss them and be excited about that. Perfect. All right. So then, um, great. So let's go ahead and we're gonna try that again.
Okie doke. I hate to tamper with perfection, but this role calls for a more unimaginative standard of beauty. Yes, indeed, bog standard.
Nice. Very good. Awesome. So, how'd that feel?
Good. Good.
Good, excellent. And is there anything else that you feel like you would want to do with the voice or the pacing? I mean, I feel like that was actually a really great take. So,
I feel
if
like
you're
that was
like, I liked it, I'm
really
happy with it, and
happy
you
with
want to
that.
stick with it, then yeah,
Yeah.
great. So we'll
Yeah.
keep that. And
Okay.
then let's go to our next line. So, what do we need for this line?
Let's see. It looks like there's a lot of questioning. She just doesn't understand why people don't want to worship her and obey her
Those
all the
fools.
time. It's
Yeah.
really, really, that's very difficult. Um,
Exhausting. I mean, you have to like, educate them all the time.
yeah.
They should just know what to do.
It kind of looks a little bit like it would come off as a mix of like angry and whiny.
Got it.
Um, yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel like it would be like certain moments would be angry and certain moments would be whiny? Um, or is it kind of like so like which moments do you see that you're like, "Oh, she'd be more ticked off here and then she'd be more whiny in this moment." Like what lines do you kind of see that being?
I feel like it kind of starts off, it looks like it would start off kind of whiny with that really very long and drawn.
Yeah,
And then she's like, I just want to be happy. And then build it up a little angry and then end
sure.
on a whiny note.
Okay.
Like, is it that much to ask that you just worship me?
Yes, nice. All right, great. So let's
Okay.
go ahead and we're gonna just give it a go. Just
All
see
right.
see what you come up with for that first take.
Okay. I mean, really, I just want to be happy. Is that asking too much? I'm a simple girl. All I want out of life is peace and quiet. And thousands of lesser beings who worship me and obey my every whim.
Nice. Yes, very good. All right. So then, are you still talking to your little minion friend?
I feel like that's all she has.
Yeah, that's all she has is her little minion friends. Um, and so how do you feel about your minion friend?
At this point, even that, or she could be talking to someone who she tried to destroy but didn't.
Ooh, that would be
That
kind of a
makes it
fun
kind of fun.
take.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to
like
try that?
sure, sure.
A little spin on it.
Yeah. All right. So, um, I mean, really, I just want to be happy. Is that asking too much? I'm a simple girl. All I want out of life is peace and quiet, and thousands of lesser beings who worship me and obey my every whim.
Nice. How'd that feel?
Good.
Good. That was
Yeah.
awesome. Very good. Yeah, because it's almost like you're scolding them at the same time to me. Like they're
Great.
part of the problem. You're
Yes.
like, people like you
Why don't you just obey me?
would just make everything so much easier if you would just listen.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Oh, it's exhausting being me.
Ugh. Always, always having to fix everything.
Yes, exactly. Precisely. Nice. Good. So then, good. Let's play with a little more like, could we make her a little more melodramatic in
Yeah.
this one? Like a little more
Yeah.
exaggerated melodrama.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, I mean, really, I just want to be happy. Is that asking for too much? I'm a simple girl. All I want out of life is peace and quiet and thousands of lesser beings who worship me and obey my every whim.
Nice. Very good. How'd that feel?
Good. I liked that.
Awesome. Great. So then, if you were going to, mm, is there anything else that you can think of that you would want to tweak about that?
um, I don't think so.
Okay, great. Awesome. Good. Kind of like considering the character inspirations, is there anything else that you think that they might do with it?
Um, I feel like it might be able to like jump around a little bit more, like a little more like just kind of the pacing, maybe
Sure.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, really, I just want to be happy. Is that asking for too much? I'm a simple girl. All I want out of life is peace. And to knock my microscope over or my magnifying glass is peace and quiet. And thousands of lesser beings who worship me and obey my every whim.
Yeah, just so it's all just very like exaggerated, stretching it out,
Yes.
drawing everything out, making it as exaggerated as possible. Yeah, nice. Good. Sure. So
Yeah.
playing with a little more of the like stretching and elongating on those words. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it one more time.
Okay. I mean, really, I just want to be happy. Is that asking for too much? I'm a simple girl. All I want out of life is peace and quiet. And thousands of lesser beings who worship me and obey my every whim.
Nice. That was awesome. Yes, you sound very ominous. I would be
Yay.
scared of you for sure. If,
Yes.
if I was the one you were talking to at that moment, I'd be like, eek, run.
Ugh,
Nice. Good.
yes.
So, how'd that feel?
Good.
Pretty darn
Yeah.
good. Love it. Good. Let's
Yes.
go to the next line there.
All right.
All right. So, what do you think is happening here?
Um, maybe she keeps hunting down whatever pieces of this puzzle there are, and every time she finally hatches a plan and does the plan and gets there, the piece is gone. Uh,
Uh,
and how can she not be smarter than everyone in the world?
all righty. And I would assume that you're angry that it's gone
Yes.
because it's like, wait a
Yes.
minute. Like, this is supposed to be here right now.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
obviously someone moved it,
Right?
or you're going crazy and
Just
like
messing
completely
with
forgot that you said
people.
it somewhere else.
Right?
But it does seem like probably someone is moving it and
Yes.
messing with you and
Yes.
either stealing it or just moving it to a different place.
Yeah.
In college, I knew a guy who moved another guy's truck to a different place on campus just because they thought it was funny. And the guy was
He's
like
having
losing
a good
his
time.
mind.
He's having
He just like parked it elsewhere. And I was
that's
like, wow, don't ever do that to me.
yeah, no. I would cry.
I know. I would assume it was like I mean, I would legit be like, wait a minute, did I park it here first?
Right.
And then I would be like because like if it wasn't in certain areas either, I'd be like, so it
I
got stolen, like
I
I feel
know,
like I'd
like
be pretty upset. So I was like,
did
ooh,
aliens
I'm
attack
glad you guys
me?
had fun with that, but that would not be fun for me. Please don't ever.
Right.
Yeah. But they thought it was hilarious.
Of course they did.
This was also someone who set a couch on fire and dragged it around campus behind a truck. So, yeah,
Oh,
they just
whoa.
had different
That,
ideas of what was fun to, compared to me.
yeah. Yeah. That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like a hazard, but
I
glad
know, right?
you had a good time.
Good
Grady.
Lord.
Yeah,
Oh,
college boys. Oof.
they're crazy.
Yeah, fortunately, no one was, you know, playing pranks on
Yeah.
me all the time. So
Well,
I
that's
was
good.
like, you guys do that amongst yourselves
Yeah. I'll be over here not laughing.
in the girls' dorm alone. Yeah,
Yeah.
without you guys. Yeah.
Ugh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
boys. Ugh.
Crazy.
Alrighty, so I'd be pretty upset. Like, does it seem like this has happened multiple times too?
Yes. Yeah. That's kind
Yeah.
of what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like the vibe I was thinking that it was like this is something that's happened multiple times. And so, if it was the first time, it might be a very different approach to the script. But with it being like this happens pretty regularly,
Yeah.
and maybe like her minions think it's hilarious to mess with
Right.
her or something, but she's clearly not having it,
No. Yeah.
So she's like, stop it, and I mean it.
Yeah.
So she's very upset at this
Very
point.
upset.
So, yeah. So, yeah, let's just go for that first take and just kind
All
of have
right.
fun with it.
There's another piece missing. Unbelievable. Inconceivable. For hundreds of years, I've been searching for this. And now to find out, there's still one missing.
Yes. Excellent. Good. And I really you did such a beautiful job with this. I was working with another student, Charlie, this weekend. Yeah, this weekend. And one of the things we were working on was being able to change the emotion without drastically changing your actual volume, like your decibels, because
Uh-huh.
the microphone can't always process that, right?
Right.
So he was having moments that were like super big and intense and excited, and then moments that were a little, and I was like, okay, so you're peaking out and like distorting on those
Right.
super excited, pumped parts, and then we can barely hear you at these other times. So one of the things we were working on is when you're like whispery or softer, can you still say the same volume but have that kind of intensity? Like I'm whispering, but I'm at this volume.
Right.
And then I'm talking at this volume. And then I'm so angry with you, but I don't really drastically change my volume because the mic might not be able to process that, right?
Right.
That's why, like in old videos, you see singers like pull back because
Yeah.
mics at that time, some mics are developed now where they can handle more or less of the volume changes. Like the
Uh-huh.
SM7B handles that a lot better than other mics, um, which is a dynamic microphone. Charlie's microphone is a pretty decent microphone. I mean, he's got a good setup, but it's a condenser mic and it's not one that really handles those abrupt volume changes well. And so, like, I loved when you got angry, you weren't just like screaming like you just sounded intense, but you didn't get like crazy loud volume wise. You weren't like
Yeah.
actually like, hey, like actually
Right. Right.
shouting. You got the intensity in your voice. Oh, my puppy was like, he jolted awake.
Oh, poor
Sorry, baby.
thing.
He's like, what?
It's like, well, I didn't do anything.
He was sleeping and he was just like,
Aw.
I mean, he's a puppy, so he sleeps most of the day. And then the other part of the day, the small percentage, he like acts crazy
Yeah.
and is
Yeah.
like, so, but yeah, so I really liked you did a great job of that, changing intensity, changing the effect without actually changing your decibel volume, which is
Yay.
awesome.
Thank you.
Because in your editing process too, it's going to make it so much easier. Charlie's recording had like super high hot moments and then and I was just like, dude, the whole thing was just like
Oh
this
yeah.
like all through it. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's gonna be such an annoying thing to edit. And I was like, I'll show you. And we like worked
Yeah.
through it. And he was like, oh, you're right. That took a really long time and it was a
Yeah.
lot of work. And I was like, yeah, so if you can get it where you stay kind of the same volume and just change your
Right.
vocal intensity and like expressiveness, that's the sweet spot. So you
Yeah.
did a great job with that. So I just wanted to
Yay.
applaud you on that because it was great. Um, yes. Uh, and I might even, because she's like, like unbelievable, inconceivable, I might do that first line like a what? Like a
Okay.
there's another piece missing, like
Okay.
excuse like maybe, and it could also be like maybe one of her minion like comes up to her. She's like, bring this to me. And they're like, we can't find it, and
Yeah.
she's like, excuse me, like you
Yeah.
know, that movie, Pitch Perfect, right? Like,
Yes.
I don't think so, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, inconceivable. Like she's like, I refuse to believe this. Um, so I feel like, it could be that they thought they found all of them.
Uh-huh.
It could also be that like she found this, horde of them and they just finished counting them all. And
Okay.
there's still one missing. Like
Yeah.
she needs a dozen gems and she's found 11 of them. And there's one that's not there. And
Got
she's
it.
like, what? Right. So slightly tweaking the circumstance, I think, is going to change a lot of how you express it. So I just want to play with like a few different
Oh,
options because I think that you could have different things. So like your little minion's like, excuse me, your beautiful eminence. Uh, but we're missing the blue one,
yeah. All
And
right.
she's about to go on an adventure to find it. And it turns out it's on this other sorcerer's like beautiful bejeweled hand or something, She has to figure
Yeah.
out how to get it off of her, but she never takes it off. So she's about to go on some big adventure. It's setting up a story.
Yes.
So they came to tell you there's still one missing, and you
Yay for
are
that.
like, what? Because
Yeah.
you were in here like toasting yourself, being like, I finally did it. I have them all.
Yes.
So, and then you're like
Uh,
choking on your wine or whatever, your
yes.
sherry.
Ugh. All right. There's another piece missing. Unbelievable. Inconceivable. For hundreds of years, I've been searching for this. And now, to find out, there's still one missing.
Yes, nice. And I feel like you could also play with the opposite. Like instead of getting really big and loud, sometimes it can be even scarier when someone gets really calm and quiet and
Yes.
slow. Like that could be kind of a fun thing to play with. Whenever I'm doing auditions too, I like to show them as many different creative choices as I can come up with because
Okay.
I want to show them like the wide variety of what I can do.
Right.
So if I've already showed them like explosive anger in one of the other snippets, I might try something different with this one, and be like, instead of like screaming at them, like, and now to find out, there's still one missing, where it's like, ominous and scary, but it's like she's not yelling at you, which means something worse is coming, kind of a thing.
Right.
Um, so playing with different ways you can approach it too. So let's try a little more like she gets very still and there's like that rage simmering inside of her, but she's controlling it right now. So a little more like that kind of
All
like
right.
sinister boiling underneath the surface kind of anger.
Got it. There's another piece missing. Unbelievable. Inconceivable. For hundreds of years I've been searching for this. And now, to find out, there's still one missing?
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved it. Yeah, it still sounds like the same character, but it has like a very different energy. So it feels to me like it's a totally different, you know, moment in time, a very different like context. So it just shows like a totally different side of her.
Yeah,
And we can be angry, but have all these different ways that we are angry and different ways that we show that we're angry, right? Like I could be livid, I could be frustrated, I could be annoyed, and it's different
right.
types of angry that are going to read differently, come across differently. And so I like to play with the nuances of anger and how do I express and show anger in these different ways at these different times. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was really fun, really
Yay,
a
that was
cool
fun.
take. Um, and I feel like so when here's the thing. Casting doesn't know what they want. We like to think that they do and be like, what do they want? Let's figure it out. Let's be amazing and like use our
Right.
mind reading skills and figure it out, right? They don't know until they hear it. And so
Yeah.
you have to come up with creative and new ways to approach things because they don't know what they want yet. And
Right.
so you have to show them what they want and you have to fill that need for them. And when they hear an audition and another one and another one and another one, and they all sound the same because you do like the obvious thing that's like, oh,
Yeah.
I bet they want to hear this, then they're going to end up liking it less. Like it's all going to start just blurring together
Right.
rather than being something that really stands out to them. And so we need to then approach it and go, okay, so what is like a unique take on it that only really I can bring to the table? Because I have seen casting directors pass on people to the next phase, like send to the director auditions that are very unpolished and people who clearly don't have very much experience, but those people did something totally different than a bunch of people who clearly had good training and were polished, but they all did kind of the same thing, the same read of a script. And so if we can get it where you have a unique take, that is going to make you stand out so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of a goal I want you to, experiment with, which
Sure.
is can I come up with more of like a unique take where I'm going to stand out from the crowd, where they're going to
Yeah.
go, "Ooh, I didn't consider that approach, but I liked it." And so it makes you stand out to them in a new way where, they can't ignore you
Right.
because you just like you know, sparked their excitement and their interest and their creativity and gave them new ideas by your take. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
something I want you to play with.
Yeah.
Because I think it could be really fun and I'm excited to see like what unique approaches you can find um, and just like what you can bring to the table there. So, yeah, nice. So that's
Okay.
a challenge for you this week is being
Yes.
really creative and coming up with new ideas. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
Cool. So then let's go ahead and I loved that take. So
Good.
let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The It's Okay, My Little Pet. Okay, so you scared your little minion and you're trying to be like, sweet and like, oh, come here, it's gonna be okay,
Hmm.
and then you're just like, I'm gonna end it all for you. Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah.
So you scared them, they got confused, and you're like being very like, oh, sweetie, it's gonna be okay. Come here, you
Yes.
know. But then you're just like, it's gonna be okay because you won't exist anymore.
Yes. I'm gonna make it all better.
Scrumptious, you
Yay.
know? So I feel like it should be like a really shocking moment when you're like chomp and gulp,
Yes.
that should, I think, be pretty shocking to the audience at this
Yeah.
moment that they're like, what? Did not see that coming, you know?
Yes.
So that's what I was thinking there.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and try. Um, let's have you do that. Like, I think of it as like, comforting like a little kid who like skinned
Yeah.
their knee or, like a little puppy, kind of thing. Like, oh, did you fall on your face?
Yeah.
Was that embarrassing? Come here, sweetie,
Poor boy. All right. Um,
Did that other dog step on your foot? I'm sorry. I bet that hurt.
yes.
That like comforting thing. But it
Yeah.
also, I think, could be a little like seductive, could be another approach,
Okay.
or like luring them in. Um, like with bait kind of an idea, like kind of fishing for them. So I feel like you could do a few different takes, but let's try the more like nurturing, like, oh,
Okay.
sweetie, kind of a
All right.
approach first.
All right. It's okay, my little pet. You got confused, didn't you? I can see that now. Now, come here. It'll be okay. I feel like she needs to just like suck.
Yeah, like because we need them to know what's happening with our voice. So ways that we can
Right.
like a or a like something that shows that you just devoured them,
Yeah.
And then maybe like a big gunk, like or a like nom, 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 like something that
Okay.
shows that you're eating them. Yeah, so let's just like experiment and play a little bit with eating the little gremlin.
Eating the
And
sweet.
the sounds to showcase that.
Hmm. Got it. So like a would you do like a chomp like a honk?
You
Honk?
could.
Yeah. Just a honk and then
Exactly, like You could do like smacking noises.
mm. Oh, I hate those kinds of noises.
Oh, you're like, oh, gross.
Okay. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, so all the gross eating
Eating
noises,
noises. All
you're gonna
right.
lean into that for
Okay.
this gross character. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So it's okay, my little pet. You got confused, didn't you? I can see that now. Now come, come here. Come here, dear. Mwah. It'll be okay.
Oh, that's hilarious. Delightful.
Yes, she's just a lovely character.
That was truly a delight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like make it as gross as you can, honestly.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think you have to get really comfortable with sounding like ridiculous
Yeah,
or sounding gross or
yeah,
sounding ugly,
yeah,
Like we have to get comfortable with sounding not nice,
yeah.
and going like, okay, I'm not nice in this moment. I'm
Okay.
not, and that's
Yeah.
okay, you know? And instead we go, okay, so I'm not nice right now. So how would I, express this or come across with this?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah, can
So,
we try the whole line again with that like
yeah.
very sweet, nurturing, and then like the grossest gulpy chomping things you can figure out and find?
Yes. It's okay, my pet. You got confused, didn't you? I can see that now. Now come, 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 come here, dear. Mm, it'll be okay. Oh, it's so gross.
I love it.
Good.
That's hilarious. It's so funny. Very good. Very nice. All
Good.
righty. Marvelous.
Ugh,
Truly marvelous. All
yes.
right. Now can we try it like you're like luring them in more? So more
Yeah.
like a witchy kind of feeling, like, come here, my pretty. I have candy and
Yeah. Okay.
cookies. Like that more like evil person luring them to
Yes.
you.
Haha. It's okay, my pet. You got confused, didn't you? I can see that now. Now come, come here, dear. Mwah. It'll be okay.
That was great.
Ugh,
Nice. Good. So how does that feel to you?
it feels different than the first go rounds. Like it feels more like crony.
Yeah, like
Ugh,
even more icky than before. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, ooh, this is pretty nasty. This character sucks.
Yes.
Even more than I previously anticipated for sucking. Yeah, I feel like I would probably approach it more with like being super sweet. Um, like drawing them in, nurturing, and then being like, and now you're gonna die.
Yeah.
That's probably how I would approach it personally. And then, like shocking everyone with the suddenness of the like chomp and the nom 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 gulp kind of a
Yeah.
thing. That's probably what I would do,
Yeah.
but I think you have options. And I have noticed that a lot of the time, the like sexier approaches will be the ones that are picked sometimes. So it really depends on what they want.
Okay.
And it's hard like to know that.
Yeah.
Um, and if you know who's doing the casting, you can sometimes know more of what they would go for. It's
Okay.
just that unfortunately, we don't know who's going
Yes.
to be doing casting. So
Ooh.
then it's like, all right, well, fingers crossed that you like what I do.
Yeah. Right.
But I would probably do more of the like, mom being like, oh, honey, I sorry. Come
Yeah.
here. And then the gross chomping.
Yes.
Um, because I feel like you can show off more of like a sexy side in other parts. Like, like when she's like being like, oh, like I need to be beautiful, kind of a
Right.
vibe.
Right.
You could
Yeah.
have something different there. So yeah, so I feel like you've got options.
Yes.
So yeah.
Options are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and go to the next one because
Okay.
I did really like it. Um,
Okay.
and then let's try the oh my a Bunderkin. Is
Uh,
she is she German?
oh, I'm like, is it
Bunderkin. Or maybe
oh,
they're
let's
German,
see.
right?
Maybe yeah. Wunderbar. Okay, so
So how do you think you stumble upon this person, or did they stumble upon you? Where do you think you are, and how did you happen to encounter this person?
Maybe she's down in the bog and she is working on her plan and is like, oh, this thing came across me. Isn't that interesting?
Right.
Um,
So they came to your bog.
sure.
And so you're like, okay, random person just stumbled into my bog. How do you feel when they pop up all of a sudden?
It looks like she is really working hard to tell them that they're nothing. Like, oh, you're the one that all the stories are about. You're the adventurous one that's brave and blah, blah, blah. Is that you? Yes. Oh, you're gross.
So you see them and you like I would assume you're like surprised that they're
Yes.
here
Yeah.
because you weren't expecting them. But then like you realize who they are and you think it's funny because you're like, "Wait a minute. You're puny. I've heard
Right.
all these stories about this great warrior person, blah, blah, blah." And you're like, say what?
Yeah.
That's you? You know? And it's more of like this, okay, ha,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Cool. Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't have expected, you to show up kind of a vibe. Um, you know what I mean? That it's
Yeah.
like, really? You are the one that they all talk about and are like, oh, he's so powerful and great and blah, blah, blah. And you're
Right.
like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Oh, gross. Gross. You're
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, and maybe even like kind of like ominous threatening too. Like, oh, you think you can come in here and, like defeat me or whatever? Ha, that's hilarious. That you think like you could come in here and conquer me. Well, that's never gonna happen,
right.
kind of a sound. Um, yeah, so just kind of playing with that a little bit more of that you think it's like surprising that they're here. It's a little bit of like shock and surprise, but then like amusement as well, and maybe like kind of threatening, but also like delighting in this,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, I'm gonna have fun with you kind of a
Yeah.
thing, you know, kind of
Yes.
what I was thinking.
All
So,
right.
yeah, let's try it.
All right. Oh my, a Bunderkin. You wouldn't happen to be that strong, adventurous, young Bunder Dragon I've heard of, bravely bounding into the beyond, abandoning all sense of tradition and position. Ugh, how droll.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so I might do a sound at the beginning that's like that shows the surprise, like, oh, like or a oh,
Okay.
like
Okay.
something that shows that. Um,
Okay.
just like when you first encounter them, like, oh, you scared me kind of a feeling or like startled
Yeah.
me. Like they pop up and are like, ah, and you're like, whoa, where'd you come from? Kind of a
Yeah.
thing. Um, but then like have a moment of like, I know who you are. I've heard of you. But then
Yeah.
like, thinking it over and then being like, oh, this is hilarious. You're
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay. All right. So something more like,
Like maybe he's like, I'm gonna defeat you, yeah, and you're like,
oh, okay, cool.
you're
What?
swinging a sword at me,
Yeah.
you small fry.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, oh my, a Bunderkin. You you wouldn't happen to be that strong, adventurous young Bunder Dragon I've heard of, bravely bounding into the beyond, abandoning all sense of tradition and position. How droll.
Nice. Good. I might also play with being a little bit suspicious as well.
Okay.
Like, you wouldn't happen to be that one, would ya? Like, I feel like there could also be like more backstory that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe like you have issues with their family or something.
Okay.
You're like, wait a minute. Did your parents send you
Okay.
thinking they could defeat me? Ugh, the
Fools.
foolish thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you could play with that a little bit more too. Like that there could be some backstory that we
Okay.
don't know.
All right. Um, okay. Let's see. Um, oh my, a bunderkin. You wouldn't happen to be that strong, adventurous, young bunder dragon I've heard of, bravely bounding into the beyond, abandoning all sense of tradition and position? How droll.
Nice. Good. How'd that feel?
Good.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, where it's like, maybe you and the dragons have a sordid history, and
Right?
you're like, wait a minute. One of you in my yard. Hmm.
It
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
feels like maybe she's watched this thing sneak, like thinking it's sneaking. Then she's like pretending to be surprised, like, oh my, like,
That's funny.
stupid idiot.
It could be like she snuck up on them. Like they
Right.
thought they were sneaking up on her, and she's like, "Ha!"
Yeah.
You know, I got you. Oh,
Got it.
that's a fun approach. Yeah, that you
Yeah.
like, oh, when you see
Yeah.
them, that it's like over exaggerated.
Yes.
And really you saw them in the distance and like went out to sneak up on them and like
Yeah.
sort of play a trick on them. Okay. Yeah, let's try that.
Oh my, a bunderkin. You wouldn't happen to be that strong, adventurous, young Bunder Dragon I've heard of, bravely bounding into the beyond, abandoning all sense of tradition and position. How droll.
Nice. Good. Yes. I would say you also could play a little bit with the pausing a little bit more in here because
Okay.
he would be probably reacting to you, so
Hmm.
I would probably let it breathe a little bit more.
Okay.
Um, so I probably would give it a little bit more space and, let it have a little bit more time
Okay. So kind
in
of
between to like see how he reacts, but then you also can like cut him off and not let him finish and like you can be like, Psh, I don't want to hear what you actually have to say, or like he starts to talk and you're
right.
like, no, 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 blah, 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 blah," and you just like run him over kind of a thing. Um, but like pausing also to let what you said sink in as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So just more of the you wouldn't happen to be that strong, adventurous, young Bunder Dragon I've heard of, bravely bounding into the beyond, abandoning all sense of tradition and position. How droll.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that it and I don't know that you necessarily have to always, like stretch that much, but like
Okay.
after saying something like take a moment to pause and let what you said sink in and then
Okay.
like say the next line too. I'd probably pick like specific moments when I
Okay.
want to emphasize something or pick like a specific moment when I want to stretch, that I
Okay.
want to draw it out more,
Okay.
So kind of choosing when and where I want to do that. So what words do you feel like you would want to emphasize more and like stretch a bit more?
I feel like it- one of the words would be like young. That would be a good stretching word.
Yeah,
Uh,
nice.
bravely bounding into beyond maybe in or into the beyond.
Yeah.
Um, and then droll can just kind of get stretched out.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. I
absolutely.
even like the word you, like you wouldn't happen to be.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, oh my, a bunderkin. You wouldn't happen to be that strong, adventurous, young Bunder Dragon I've heard of, bravely bounding into the beyond, abandoning all sense of tradition and position. How droll.
Nice. Good. How'd that feel?
Good.
Awesome. Great. So then, um, awesome. Let's try then. Let's try that you actually are really intrigued by him and like delighted that he's here and
Okay.
you think it's going to be fun.
Okay.
Like maybe you're
Um,
planning on like playing with him a bit and you're like,
okay.
"Ooh, this is going to be delightful."
Yay. Oh my, a bunderkin. You wouldn't happen to be that strong, adventurous, young Bunder Dragon I've heard of, bravely bounding into the beyond, abandoning all sense of tradition and position. How droll.
Nice. Yes, very good. Awesome. So yeah, that it's more like like a oh my, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh goody, look what just stumbled into my yard,
Yes.
like rabbit stew, yum yum
Yeah.
yum. So something that excites you and you're like, oh,
Oh, that's
delightful.
exciting.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly. Um, so yeah, so you see, you can approach it lots of different ways because they don't tell you really, any direction of what they want you to do with it. So in
right.
those cases, I'm going to go through and go, all right, so what do I feel like is going to be like a fun, unique take on it that shows my personality? And
Got
if
it.
you tweak the circumstance, then you
Right.
can, have something different in your approach and the way that you express it. So,
Yay.
yeah, playing
Fun.
with that. So what was your favorite take of this one and why?
I think the last one, because I think it kind of was a little bit like leading on. And then all of a sudden it's like,
Mm.
bleh. Here, yeah.
Surprise!
Yes.
This is how I really feel about you.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you think you're cool, but you're not.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. So playing with, the different ways that you can approach it, playing with um putting your personality in
Mhm.
because the uniqueness of who you are is going to be a selling point. That's going to
Okay.
be something that makes you stand out. So you want to really lean into your unique qualities and who you are, because that's going to be what helps you to stand apart
Okay.
and that they remember you more. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. Really good
Ah,
work on that.
thank you. That was lots of fun. I
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
you did great work on that. That was awesome. I loved all your different, creative sounds and exploring different, approaches, different relationships or feelings toward those people, places, and things. Um, Playing with like pacing and pauses and the inflection. So much really good stuff that you did
Yeah.
today. That was really fun.
That was awesome.
So I definitely think, yeah, like record it, get that in. That's going to be so
Okay.
fun. I'm going to keep my
Um,
fingers crossed for you.
okay. Quick question. With something
Yeah,
like this, should I slate it? Should I
I
mean,
would.
I
They
keep
didn't
like,
specify whether or not they wanted it, but I like to show them this is who I am, this is my natural personality, and also then just kind of reinforcing who you are as well.
okay,
So I do
okay,
just a quick like greeting in my name, and then at the end, just like a quick thank you in my name. So like a Hi, I'm Vandy Enzor. And then it just goes straight in. And then at the end, thanks for listening. I'm Vandy Enzor. That kind
okay.
of thing. Or
Yeah,
like, thanks, I'm Vandy Enzor. Just like something short and sweet that just like, you know,
yeah.
reminds them this is my name.
Yes. Please
Remember
remember
me.
it.
Please remember me. Please hire me.
Yes,
That'd be great.
yes. Yay.
I would love to work for you or with
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Please, please hire me. So, yeah. So just
Okay,
a little bit of a different approach there. Um, yeah.
okay,
With sometimes they'll specify. If you have an agent, they're going to tell you whether or not to slate.
okay,
Um, and if you had an agent that you were submitting through, you would say, I'm with this particular organization as part of your slate. So I'd do like, Hi, I'm Vandy Enzor, and I'm with Helen Wells, or whatever group that I'm with, or I'm with
right.
Talent Fusion, or I'm with Heyman Talent. So you pick, your talent agency that you're auditioning through, and you remind them of that because they might be getting submissions through multiple different agencies. Um,
Okay.
and then when you're labeling your recording, it's very
Mhm.
important that you save the file with the correct labeling. Put your name and if you're submitting through an agency, you also will put them and then you'll say like what you're auditioning for. So in this case, you're going to put your name and then like an underscore or a dash or something, and then like what it is that you're auditioning for
Okay,
so that they remember that, so that they know that who you are. And you might even say, I mean, it's possible they might have posted this on multiple sites. So you could even say in that saved file name what site you applied through as well. And then I would recommend sending like a little note with it, not like necessarily professional cover letter, but
right.
a little note that's just like, hey, this is who I am. I'm submitting for this character for this production. I really love X, Y, and Z about it. Thanks so much for your consideration. Hope to work with you in the future, kind of a thing,
Okay, got it.
that kind of vibe. Um, so yeah,
Awesome. Perfect.
So yeah, I think you're in a good zone for that. So I would
Yeah,
definitely say get that in, submit it because you sound great, and
yeah,
then we will get back to, you know,
yeah.
the books and the podcast, when we can. So
Yes,
but get this in because it would be a super fun project.
it would be. It would be lots of fun.
And I feel like things like this are where voice actors get well known. Um, I mean, you can be a professional working voice actor and never be famous and make a living doing it. Tons of people do. The majority of voice actors are unknown because you don't see their face.
Right.
But if you're going to become well known and have fans, it's usually going to be through something like this, where there's a character that's a beloved character that
Got it.
people just really love that character. And then they're like, who plays that character? And then
Yes.
they look into it. Um, but yeah, so it's always fun and creative and it stretches you in new ways.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
fun.
narration's like the bread and butter, consistent work.
Right.
Characters where you get to be really creative and fun and like outgoing and playful, and stretch yourself, and that's where you would get like fame. And then commercials are just like you need quick money,
Right.
let's go into the ATM. It's just like do a commercial, quick and easy, get paid.
Yeah.
So I say like an assortment of all the different types are
Yeah. Yeah.
optimal.
There you go.
So, well, great work
Yeah.
today and good luck. Are we going to meet a month from now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
see when that will be. That would be about, oh, it actually, there's a Monday that's the 24th again. That's fun.
Oh, that's
Do you want
funny.
to just meet that day?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is 12:15 Eastern good?
That should be fine. Yeah.
All right. I think that's the same time we did today.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, perfect. All righty, I'll go ahead and pencil that in. And I'll plan to see you then. So that
All
should
right.
be exactly 1 month because it's the 24th and the 24th. That's
Sounds
so fun.
good. Yeah.
I feel like that hardly ever happens where it's the
I know,
same
right?
number.
That's fun.
So great. I will see you
All right.
then. Have a wonderful
Thanks,
rest of your
Sandy.
month. If you want me to listen to anything in the meantime, feel free to email it to me and I'll see you in
Okay.
a month.
All right. Sounds
Bye,
good.
Christy.